This is Lewis Art for Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store and William Hill. Delighted today to be joined for the first time with Tyrone King. I don't know how it's been so long, mate. I'm always sort of down this gym. First time joining an interview, but other than that, mate, how are we?
Yeah, all good, thanks, Louis. How are you?
Yeah, everything's all good, man. Everything's all good. Sort of just starting off sort of the first start of camp for you. A quick turnaround from June 17th. Just looking back on that, how do you sort of reflect on that performance? A solid sort of 6 rounds for you.
Yeah, I thought it was a very good fight for me, good learning fight, and I boxed in November last year and I weren't happy with my performance, so I got straight back in the gym, straight back to it, and I think I made big improvements, to be honest, so I was happy with the performance, yeah.
Is it sort of frustrating for you after boxing in November, not boxing for sort of another 8 months, but now you're sort of back in at June, then September again, making up for lost time in a way? So is that sort of a frustrating 6 months, or was it sort of a way where you looked at it, where you looked at the 6 months to improve in the gym and get better at your craft?
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't really frustrating because I'm only young, I'm not in no rush. So I was just thinking with this time out I can learn and improve on my craft. So that's what we was doing, getting more sparring in, developing my skills and just getting better really. And because I didn't want to go back into another fight, rush into another fight and it just be a performance I weren't happy with, so I thought I'd stick in the gym and really improve, and I was happy with it, yeah.
Well, you talked about sparring now, and we'll get on to sort of September the 2nd in a minute, but throughout your development, how important would you say the sparring is, the reps that you get in the gym? Yesterday you were talking about yesterday sparring Ohara Davies, a guy who, you know, he's at the top level, probably potentially about to be a world champion. For someone like you who's only 4-0, how much valuable is that experience for you to get in some of that top quality sparring in?
Yeah, exactly. I think the sparring's the main thing, to be honest. You can do all the pads, you can do all the drills, pad work, whatever, but I think the sparring, getting out your comfort zone, getting in there with people that are better than you and add more experience than you, getting in there with them sort of opponents and stuff, learning from them, picking it up, and I think it does pay dividends. For my last fight, I had 13 different sparring partners. I sparred Michael Hennessy Jr., Sonny Liston Ali, I had Ohara Davies, Jigger Graham, Jarrell Patterson, a few others, but Thomas Galbraith was one. I had that, so obviously sparring them sort of calibre of opponents and stuff like that, it obviously brings on my development as well, so it is really good, yeah.
And obviously being at this gym here, I was just saying to Brandon there, I think when I first came here, it was sort of only sort of yourself, Brandon and Martin as pros. And now you've got the stable has doubled in a way, which is obviously beneficial for you, where you see sort of Martin who's a champion now, and you see sort of the other pros that you train with, where the stable's improving, you see that you're all different in your own craft, which must be a good feeling as well, sort of even taking bits from everyone else in the gym.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously Martin's led the way. When he was just starting out, he got to about 5-6-0, and then he stepped up against Danny Darko. He lost, had another few learning fights, come back, boxed Harlem Eubank, lost, and then he stayed back in the gym, and then recently he won the Southern Area bout, and then he beat 11-0 Ben Smith. So obviously Martin's hard work and that's led the way for us all, and we're all on different paths and all different levels, but obviously we're all learning from each other, pushing each other at the same time. So yeah, it's a good thriving gym.
And for someone like you, where this is local to you, know, being from Sittingbourne, you've got all other boys from Sittingbourne like Zach and all the other guys, that must be a good family feeling as well, and especially for you where you can relate on so many levels to everyone else.
Yeah, exactly. We're all close fit gym in there, and we all look out for each other, we all want the best for each other, and obviously that's what we want, and that's the best thing to be around, yeah.
So we'll go on to September the 2nd, a massive fight for you, the biggest fight of your career so far, only your 5th fight. Taking this fight, what was the main motivation when it first got offered to you?
Well, it's the first time somebody's offered me a big fight, and I just said yes straight away. I said, come in the gym. I boxed on the 17th. I was back in the gym on the 19th, and Bill said, they've offered you this guy. And I said, yeah, we'll take it. That's what we're in boxing for at the end of the day, big fights, bright lights.
And the thing you're saying there, a win here would put you in a brilliant position for a potential sort of a title fight where you look at the top guys sort of around your level. You mentioned Thomas Galbraith there, Ryan Maycock, Jack Martin, guys like that. how important is it? How important would it be for you to sort of almost take risks early in your career, because without any risk, there's no reward. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. You said it yourself. No risk, no reward. And if you do lose a fight and you do step up and you lose a fight, it don't define you anyway. It's only going to make you better and going to make you want it more. And I think it's a fight I can win, and that's what I'm in boxing for: test myself and fight the best.
Do you feel like you'll learn a lot more from a fight like this compared to a journeyman who will cover up for rounds in a way?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, this guy's going to come at me. He's going to want it just as much as I want it, and so it's going to possess opportunities for myself. He's going to open up a lot more, and I think that's going to be good for me, to be honest. Yeah.
When you look at it, is it almost much more beneficial in a way to fight guys who are coming to win? Because sometimes it's hard to land your shots, and you have to work a little bit harder for your money. Where someone's going to come to win, you're possessing all different, boxing on the back foot, boxing on the front foot, trying all different things where he's going to be throwing shots back. So is there a lot more that you can benefit from this?
Yeah, exactly, because I can show in this fight what I'm about, what I can do seriously. Might have to dig deep, I can dig deep. I can box on the back foot, I can box on the front foot, and this fight I can show everyone what I'm about, yeah.
And how much of it is a testament to Johnny for putting this fight on for you, getting an opportunity to fight on, a 50-50 fight at the end of the day, and this full of, I was looking at the card this morning, like a stacked card in a way, and to be a part of it where you're one of the big fights on the card must be a good attraction as well.
Yeah, exactly. Most of the fights on the show, they're big fights, and most of them, including the fight that I'm in, it could be a main event on another small hall show. So good for Johnny, and he's putting on good shows, but that's what people are paying their money for. They want to see good fights and everything like that. Don't want to see fights beating up a guy or a guy running around the ring. You want good fights. That's what people are paying their hard-earned money for.
Absolutely. And you talked earlier after your last fight. I remember watching an interview of you for IFL and with Joe, and you were saying about the sort of the faith that Bill put into you, where you're not getting him much money now, but having that sort of that faith that gets put into you and the time. And you was talking about even sort of Jack, your nutritionist, there, about him calling you, asking you for all different things. Is it important? How special is that to sort of have these people that put faith in you, even early, even when you're an early pro, sort of when you're not in a rude way, but do you know what I mean? You're still early pro, but having people put faith in you must be a good feeling as well.
Yeah, exactly. It's like your coach, they're putting all their belief into you, your nutritionist, even your sponsors, and the people that come out and support you, they're all investing in you because they believe in you. So that's why I put the hard work in the gym, out the gym, and that's why I give it my all, because these people believe in me and I want to make it pay off for them and prove them right as well.
Well, Tyrone, just as we sort of finish this off, what happens on September 2nd?
Tyrone King wins.
Tyrone, thank you for your time, mate. Good to sort of get our first interview in. It won't be the last one. Top man. Thank you, mate. Cheers.